Now available in paperback and e-readers, E-Steam Essential, The Dealer's Diva Reaches a Turning Point in Her Life, the most powerful E-Steam series story. Get E-Steam Essential at online booksellers today. I'm noticing a disturbing trend as it relates to American women. And that trend I'm noticing is that there is absolutely no respect for men, no respect for male authority or male authority figures. And I'm noticing this trend because I was watching the Channel 11 news here in New York on Wednesday morning, and they ran a report talking about how a police officer stopped a woman for a traffic stop and was trying to issue her a traffic ticket. And as he was trying to issue this woman a traffic ticket, she verbally berated the man and then threatened the man's job because she was a member of the town council. Now, if you look at that incident, you notice three things. One, this female had absolutely no respect for that man's badge. As a member of law enforcement, you would think a woman would understand that she needs to respect the authority of a law enforcement figure, and that this man, who is a member of law enforcement, is somebody you really do not want to argue with. But because she's a female, she believes that she is above the law, and because she believes she's above the law, she does not have to respect the authority of his badge as a member of law enforcement. And the second thing you notice in the situation is that this female feels that she does not have to respect this man's male authority. Now, her arguing with this man and threatening this man's job, this was her way of emasculating this man and showing him who had the real power in the situation. Because her sitting there and arguing with this man and then threatening this man's job, a member of law enforcement, showed that she again believed that she is above the law and that she is the ultimate authority. Now, when I take a look at that situation, it shows me who has the real power here in America. And who has the power here in America really is not the white man, but the white woman. Now, in the aftermath of this incident, which is actually the second one, there were calls for the woman to resign. Now, another woman had also done the same thing to law enforcement, and she resigned her position. But I look at that whole trend, and it shows me, again, how little respect these American women have for male authority and male authority figures, and how deeply undermined male authority here is in America. Because when it comes down to women literally threatening a law enforcement officer's job and arguing with a member of law enforcement, it shows you how emasculated the leadership is as it relates to men. It shows that men in American society are losing power because this female now feels that she has this much authority and this much power that she can literally threaten a member of law enforcement's job. She has no regard for whether this man can put her in jail or arrest her because she believes now she has all the economic and political power. Because when it comes down to most of these American women, they control a majority of the jobs, and as in this case, they are starting to get more and more political power. Because they're getting political power, they feel like they are the law above the laws of the country and can literally dictate whatever they want to even a law enforcement officer who has the power to arrest them. That they can literally stand defiant in front of a police officer and argue with them just because they are female. And when it comes down to most of these American females, they are getting more and more out of pocket with their behavior every day. Whether it be going out here and racially profiling people like the racist did in Starbucks, or calling the police on someone for a barbecue, or going out here and participating in acts of sexual abuse and pedophilia against teenage boys. Many of these women in America are completely out of pocket and out of control, and it doesn't look like anyone really wants to make an effort to try to check their out of pocket and out of control behavior, which seems to be escalating almost every day. It seems like almost every day here in America we have one report of some white female or some female going out here and making some sort of racial slur or verbally abusing someone or attacking someone, and no one is making any efforts to hold any of these females accountable for their increasingly escalating, violent, out of control behavior and their complete lack of respect for male authority and male authority figures. When you take a look at men here in America, they're looking like they're more and more emasculated and more cucked by their own women. And the women, because they don't see any sort of male asserting male authority, setting some sort of boundary, or establishing standards, they continue to push the envelope regarding their irresponsible, reckless, and egregious behaviors. And because no one wants to do anything about the girls gone wild who have grown up to become the woman run amok, it looks like we're going to start having chaos transpire in the American civilization. Because again, a race can rise no higher than the moral position of its women, and as your woman goes, so goes the race. And when your woman is running around out here disrespectful to male authority like law enforcement and male authority figures like police officers, it's going to be hard to set a direction for your race, because the culture that that woman is teaching your children is that they don't have to have respect for male authority, they don't have to have respect for male authority figures, and they don't have to respect anything a man does. Because I'm seeing day in and day out more and more disrespect of men, and what I'm keep asking and wondering is, when are men finally going to start pushing back against this group of women who continue to become more and more out of pocket and more out of control? Because when you have a female who believes that it is within her rights to disrespect a member of law enforcement and make threats against a member of law enforcement's job and be able to actually get that man fired, we have a real serious problem in our country. And most people aren't really taking a look at this because they don't see how devastating the damage is to the country when you have women who are more and more out of control, and they are more and more out of pocket. Because when their behaviors are out here like this, it really does send a message to the world that America is a weak country, because if the men can't control the women, then they're not going to be able to get control over their civilization. And what they're sending a message to the world is that America is weak because men who cannot control their women, men who cannot check women's out of pocket and out of control behavior, and men who cannot assert male authority on females, that sends a message to all the other countries in the world that American men are not men who need to be respected. American men are not men that need to be valued. American men are not men that need to be appreciated. And American male authority is not something anyone needs to take seriously. Because if they can see a woman who is just completely out of control and someone who cannot be checked even by the laws of the land, then they can come to this country and treat that country just like their own country and have absolutely no regard for it, because the men are not making the women regard the laws of the land in the same way they would make themselves regard the laws of the land. When I see a woman disrespecting a police officer and threatening a police officer's job and having the power to actually take that man's job, that shows me who has the real power here in America. And if the women have the power like that, it shows me how weak these men really are. Now, this is one of the aspects I talked about in my Decline of White Supremacy video, and I saw it transpire right in front of me as I was watching the news. And that showed me what really is regarding this white supremacy, is that the woman now is supreme and the man is now placed in a submissive position, And if he does not assert his male authority, he's not going to have a great America much longer. If you'd like to see me make more videos like this, you can donate to my Patreon by clicking the link in the description box. And if you want to learn more about men's issues, you can pick up my Simp Series books on Amazon.com. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe.